Hey guys, next deck profile update on post January 2019 ban list. And yeah, I made some changes. Eradicator's now back at 3, so I figured that's how I should focus on the deck, is like focus a little bit more on like spell and trap card removal and just like devastate your opponent from using his resources. This deck actually has a pretty good matchup against Ultra Guys anyway. So, but now that Eradicator's at 3, you can really devastate decks like Sky Striker and Altergeist. But that's not what it's also focusing on. It's also good at picking apart boards, since this deck is focused on tributing to activate effects, and with Lilith around, you can search out all your trap cards. You got a lot of pluses in this deck, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Alright, so starting off, I'm playing 3 copies of Darkest Diabolos. This guy's your main boss monster. Can't be targeted and can't be tributed by your opponent. And you contribute 1 monster you control, or 1 dark monster, I'm sorry, and have your opponent send 1 card from his hand, and he'll have to add it either to the top or bottom of the deck. And also, you can special summon this card for free if you tribute a dark monster you control. So he summons himself from hand in grave, so one of the best cards of the deck. Next up, we got 3 Liliths. This card is your Heart and Soul. This searches out all your normal traps, so you contribute 1 dark monster during either player's turn, and you can pick out 3 traps. Your opponent has to choose 1 at random, and you get to set that card. So it's kind of like a Trap Trick, but only you can't activate it on the same turn. But if I had Trap Trick, I would have ran it in this deck, but I don't have it, so yeah. Next up, 3 Arima. This card is your Terraforming, searches out your Lair of Darkness. So it's pretty important just to get that field spell out as quickly as you can. Next up, 2 copies of Jurigato. This card is kind of like a pseudo hand trap. Whenever during either player's damage step, you can special summon this card. You gain 1,000 life points, and also quick effect, you contribute this card, target 1 monster you control, and it gains 1,000 attack points. So really powerful card, definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Alright, so for 1-ofs, I got 1 Dark Armed Dragon. It's not hard to get 3 dark monsters in the grave. 1 Destrudo. And now that Dark Griffer's at 1, I'm still playing them, as well as Armageddon Knight. That way, you have one or the other. So depending on what your hand looks like, it's good to always try to see if you can open up either 1 Tour Guide, 1 Skarm, and lastly, 1 Blackwing Steamed Cloak. And that's pretty much it for monsters. No hand traps are needed in this deck, trust me. You really don't need them. Alright, so for spells, got 3 copies of Lair of Darkness. You want to get this out as quickly as you can. It's also a good token generator, so yeah, really powerful. 2 Allure of Darkness for extra draw strength, since Soul Charge is banned. I had to change up my strategy just slightly, but not too much. 1 Monster Gate's basically reasoning, but you got to tribute a monster. 1 Foolish Burial. 1 Rhoda, since we got to be able to search out Dark Griffer or Armageddon Knight, one or the other. And then Monster Reborn. And that's pretty much it for the spells. Alright, so from here on out, it's just trap cards, and there's a lot of them. So starting off, you're going to be playing 3 Reckless Greed. One thing I like about this card is how insanely broken it is. If you happen to have all 3 of them set in your field and you activate all 3, you get to draw 6 cards and still only skip 2 draw phases. And with Allure of Darkness, you still got some draw power anyway, so you should be good with that. And all your entire deck is Dark Monster, so Allure of Darkness is still really busted in this deck too. But yeah, Reckless Greed, amazing card. And the best part is the skip 2 draw phases does not stack up. So like I said, if you activate all 3, you get to draw 6, but still only skip 2. For extra revival, got Back to the Front. This card's pretty good. I really enjoy this card in this deck. 3 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus, since we still have a lot of decks that play a lot of spells, and with Ultra Guys, you got to call with trap cards. And I know True Dragos are probably gonna have some relevancy again, more so in this format, because they have Stormforth at 3, so they'll probably come up with a way to make good use of Stormforth. So yeah, Eradicator, definitely an amazing card, and I'm really happy that it's back at 3. 2 Deck Devastation Viruses. This is just for me to deal with hand traps, and there are some decks that have monsters that have less than 1,500 attack points, so I think Deck Devastation is probably a little bit better than Full Force, but that's just my opinion. And to go with our viruses, 2 copies of Mind Crush. So just in case, if I call something wrong, I could at least still look at my opponent's hand and just Mind Crush them. So or when I mean by calling wrong, it's with the other viruses is what I meant to say. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck. I'm playing 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, just because, since your Lair of Darkness is a token generator, you can summon 1. blow up all the main monster zones and just kind of like keep your opponent at bay. One Surge just Skull Dread, really powerful in this deck just because, you know, it gives you a +4. Well, technically it's yeah, you draw 4 cards, but you have to send 3. So it's just a good way to refresh your hand and just kind of like just like adjust your hand as best as you can. One Power Code Talker, just because, you know, his ability tributes. Decode Talker, Link Spider, and then lastly one Ouija's Apprentice, and that's pretty much it for the links. Everything else is just like Xyz or Synchro. But let's start off with our Xyz. We got number 38. Heretic Sun Dragon, Granosaurus, which is just good for like time rolls. Livier the Sea Dragon, since we will be banishing with Allure of Darkness, it's a good way to recycle. One Downerd Magician, you know, just an old school combo. And one Black Rose Dragon. And then from here on out, the last 3 cards, I'm sorry, are actually Waking the Dragon targets, because I side out Waking the Dragon. I got one Ultimate Falcon, one Super Heavy Samurai Steam Train King. This card's really good. So you get to like banish your all spells and traps in the grave, and if you do, you inflict 200 points of damage. So it's another good way to, you know, get the advantage with time rules. And one Naturia Beast. Once again, these are just Waking the Dragon targets, and I like to side out my Waking the Dragon because, you know, depending on what my matchups are, will determine like what's the best course of action to go with. All right, for the side deck, I'm running 3 copies of Econ just because, you know, tribute to take control of one of your opponent's monsters. 3 Waking the Dragon. And to go with a little mind game with my opponent, I like to go with Storming Mirror Force, or you can go with Torrential Tribute. But it's a really funny mind game. Like, sometimes you pick, like, Waking the Dragon and 2 of Storming Mirror Force, and your opponent's going to have to gamble. Like, if he picks right, or if he picks Storming Mirror Force, you know, he has to take a chance, whether 1 of 3 chance of, like, whether it's the Waking the Dragon or not. Or you can go the other way around and just hope that he doesn't pop it, you know? Because if he takes that gamble, whew, you're going to really devastate your opponent. Next up, 3 Heavy Storm Dusters, you know, to get rid of back row decks, like Ultra Geist as well. Playing 2 copies of Trap Jerk's Trap Hold Nightmare, which, you know, just to negate the effects of any special summon monsters. And then Lost Wind, which also negates and halves the monster's attack points. So, really amazing card, and this card brings itself back, so that's actually one of the best things about it. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you all enjoy this, and I'll catch you guys again next time.